evening. Can you see my comment? There we are. Good evening, everyone. How you doing? Waiting for Chris to join me. She's making a hot cup of coffee and a hot cup of tea. Hello, Susan. How are you? It's been a while, right? Thursday? No, Saturday. I was on Saturday, but it's been a while since we've both been on. Hello, Kathy, Veronica. How's everybody doing? Laura, how are you? How's everybody doing? Monday night. Feels like a Monday night. So, like I said, when last week we were pretty busy. Did a couple of live streams in a row there and then kind of fizzled. Hello, Luann. Nancy, how are you? Just going to move this so I can see it a little closer there. So I'm going to wait for Chris to come in here before we really start things off here. Hello, Cindy. How are you? How's everyone doing? Weather's been really nice here in Jersey, like 50-something today, 60-something tomorrow. So nice weather, but I think it's messing everybody up. I'm not feeling real great. Hello, Lisa. How are you? Oh, it's got your big mug of chocolate. Yeah, it's tomorrow, Valentine's Day. I forgot. Happy Valentine's Day, everyone. I forgot about that. So last time I was on live was Saturday night. Hello, Anna. Christopher, how are you? From the Barnard Center, testing out that microphone. That went pretty well. Again, it's nice to be able to go. Hey, Rick, how you doing? It's nice to be able to go to a building that you know is active. Hello, Christine, and test out new equipment. The bad thing about that building in particular is that the EMF is really, really high. So any kind of EMF equipment, I need the building to go test it out. But anything else, you can kind of make do over there at the Barnard Center. Cindy, yeah, that was pretty cool. I was kind of a little, it was a little weird being there alone, in the different areas. The basement, it's got a creepy vibe to it, and so does the attic. So I was trying not to spend too much time in either area by myself with the spirits that are there, because I didn't want to get into that alone. I was just there to test, which is why, with that microphone, I could do it the way that I did it, because I didn't have to actually be in the really active parts as I was testing it. I could be way away from anything if it were happening. I'm going to take a sip of my hot beverage here.
Happy Valentine's Day, everybody. See, I have such a big heart. I have a huge heart, right?
I think so.
Yeah. I made you tea.
Yes, that's,
See?
Yeah, I know. It's really... Hello, Rosa. How are you? Edward, how you doing? So taking you all the way back, the link is up. If you want to join us tonight, again, any subjects you guys want to talk about, Chris will post the link right there, New Jersey Paranormal, over there somewhere. Just click on the link. You'll be backstage. You can come on our page. Any questions that you have, anything you want to talk about, any happy VD. No, we won't be calling it that, Luann. You can't ever put those words together, as far as I know.
Sure you can, Luann.
But maybe you can. But anything you want to talk about, any questions you have, any experiences you want to share, as usual, the link is there. You can join us. We do this kind of when we don't have interviews and stuff. We allow you guys to be part of this and join us. Get involved in the discussion, whatever you want to talk about. Come on, click the link. You'll be backstage. We'll see you in there's actually a guest button right there. So we can see somebody pop up, and then we bring them on and we talk about whatever. But going all the way back to Tuesday night was our first time back at the Creeper Gallery in 2 or 3 weeks. It had been a while. And like I said, it was good getting back there. It was, we just picked whatever objects we wanted to do. And it was the Civil War document box, whatever you want to call that thing.
That Major General
box. Charles Smith.
Yes.
Okay, good. With this remembering stuff. It was the Queen
Laura
Beauty Queen.
January.
Yeah, helmet, and then
from 1879.
And then those two puppets that were kind of weird.
Yeah, the guy and the girl.
I watched
that
it
was
Wednesday
weird.
night. It was awesome. So, no expectations. ever when we go in there and we do what we do. Um, the Civil War stuff we've had a lot of luck with, which is kind of weird when you think about the separation in time between.
Well, he seemed to respond to you.
Hey Dana, how are you? But the separate when you think of like how far removed, and talk about cultures that don't have anything to do with
Hi,
each
Dana.
other. But I was surprised at the level of interaction there. That was kind of like a setup piece where it was like, okay, we've had luck with Civil War stuff. Let's try this one. And boy, he was ready to go, man, from the onset. I watched that video again because I cut clips from that one and the Beauty Queen one. And again, that box that I have where it's kind of like tracks the lighting. If you put your hand in front of it, and it tells you which direction it's moving and everything. That thing was like I said, it was Close Encounters. It was like
I liked it.
It was all over the place, and then it just drained all the battery, and that was that. Cool light show though, but there was some good stuff from that piece in particular.
I think the beauty pageant winner definitely had a flirtatious thing with you. Like she seemed to respond to your voice.
Whatever happened with the picture of the lady and the doll? We actually, where are they? Is that what you're asking? They're not here, but I still have them, but they're not here. So I don't know what's going to happen with them, to be honest with you. They probably will wind up at the Creeper Gallery at some point. Hello, Thomas. How are you? But I'll tell you what, going back to the Beauty Queen crown, probably one of the all-time coolest EVPs I've ever heard in my life, and I've been doing this a very, very long time now, was that EVP. Pleased to meet you. I'll never forget that as long as I live. Pleased to meet you. And the way she said it was so 1897.
Yeah.
Pleased to meet you. And it was just when we played it over and over, and even when I clipped it and I put it on TikTok and I put it on Instagram and all that other stuff, and I just listening to it over and over again, I was just like, boy, oh boy, you want to ever like top 10 EVPs from an object or any building, that is definitely one of the coolest ones.
We talk a lot about, and you're drawn towards things that have dark energy because they come out of the gate, boom. They're easy to interact with. They get responses. They cause issues. But talking to Laura attached to her crown was such a feel good. You just walked away feeling really happy, really good, and just like we did. Because John and I, all the way home, we were talking about it. I mean, we were just so focused on just that. There was such good vibes, good energy to it.
I would have ended the session after that one because there was no way you were going to top that one. I don't care what you did.
That's one that just reaches in and grabs a hold of you and you just feel a connection to. And it doesn't make sense. There's no rhyme or reason to it because we've done a lot of good and really interesting pieces, but there's just something about that. Maybe because we were addressing her, talking to her, The
really cool thing was that it happened live. There was no faking that. We were surprised as everybody else when we heard it. You guys heard it if you watched it, and the reaction is genuine.
What about the whistling?
Yeah,
whistling.
When you get that stuff live, it's even better because it's like you have witnesses. We're not. That's not something we're editing.
Hi, Nancy.
Not something we're editing and playing back, or it's real time. And we were just talking to someone about that. We went to go see Donna yesterday. We were at the Creeper Gallery. Yesterday was Sunday, right? Yeah. And we hung out there for a while, and Jay was there. Jay's a good guy. We took our ghost hunter pictures where we crossed our arms and looked cool. And we were talking about the fact that, doing live stream investigations, and Kalani does a lot of those as well. That's all he does, and there's something to be said about doing it in real time and people watching as it happens or not, or it doesn't happen.
Yeah.
Whatever. It's a lot different because it's really engaging, interactive, all that stuff, because what you're seeing is what we're doing, and whatever happens, you're seeing it when we see it. So it's kind of like being there without being there. And even when I tested that microphone, I did it live because I didn't want to be in that building alone.
Oh, really?
And going. So I figured if anything happens, there's going to be people watching, and they're going to see what happened. And even if I would have fallen down the stairs, God forbid, or something like that, somebody's going to know where I am and what I'm doing. And it just makes you feel like somebody's there, with you.
Gives you comfort.
When you turn on that, you hit that live stream button.
You don't feel so
you're just
alone.
like, okay, I got people with me. So as I'm doing this, they're watching, I'm watching, they're witnessing, I'm witnessing, they're hearing, I'm hearing. And it's, like I said, it's kind of cool that way, when you don't have anybody with you. And like I said, those objects, that EVP in real time, nothing better. Nothing better than that. And pleased to meet you. I'll never forget that.
Female voice, and very direct.
Sold, I think, the next day, I think.
The unique stuff of doing this is that you think about, she was in a beauty pageant, and it was the Cavalry something fair or something that was going on.
Festival or carnival or whatever.
And you just think, and then it's a beauty pageant. You hear whistling. You hear sounds and noises like there's a competition or something going on. That, then you actually hear her speak back in a female voice, like, nice to meet you. Like you said, it's just that terminal. It'd be interesting to know if that was where she came from in that accent. And that
very proper.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
it was just like
someone, if you met them, and especially if you were a beauty contestant, pleased to meet you. That's just so organic. I loved it. But Amanda, how are you? The New Jersey Paranormal link is up there, right underneath the Jersey Paranormal StreamYard. You click on that, you follow the instructions, you allow the use of your mic and your camera.
Come on and share your stories.
Be a guest, and you can be backstage, and we can talk about whatever you want or ask whatever questions you want. You pick a subject, and we'll talk about it. Again, I see a lot of these comments for things that I post, and I love the things I read, but I do get that not everybody wants to be on camera, so you're not forced to do that. Those dolls that we investigated last that night, they're kind of tucked away down the bottom shelf in the creeper gallery.
Yeah.
And we had noticed them before, and the female especially looks she's got that sideways, like, menacing look to her. And I wanted to do those the last time, and we didn't get a chance to do them. So we figured, why not? Even though we knew the research wasn't done yet, and that Donna was kind of tucking them away until she had all the information typed up and everything ready to go. I was just like, let's give it a shot and see what happens in real time with nothing to go on. Just do it. And we did. And there was some stuff there, but again, without any nothing to go on. It just to show that there was a connection of some kind to go back another time and give it a shot.
And I don't know why I didn't remember, but I wanted to ask Donna. She's all dressed in like black mourning and stuff.
Shut up, book.
And then it's like a Bible.
Yeah.
It was written, it was covered in the black material, like her dress and everything. But when you opened up the book, and that's why I was trying to show it on camera, but I didn't want to damage it. It was literally burnt. Like, you could see the edges that were literally burnt, like it was on fire.
Yeah.
And it wasn't made to look that way. It was actually singed, burned. And I would love to know what was behind that. Yeah. Because nothing else was burned. Nothing.
Yeah, it was weird. I had once had this, our very first delve, if that's the word, into haunted objects was strictly for the cable access show that we were doing many moons ago, and I was always looking for ideas for new shows and people to have on. Hey, Donna. And the idea was, people selling haunted objects online, are they real? Is there a way to test it? Because nobody was really doing that. And I ordered 5 different dolls from 5 different places, eBay, Etsy, a few other places, just random people online. and I had them all shipped to me. And one of the dolls in particular, the story, again, they all had great stories. Every one of them had a great story. And the one story in particular was, it was like a stuffed animal, like plush, whatever you call those dolls. And it was an angel.
Oh, it was a bicentennial angel.
Yeah, small little angel doll. And it was burned. It was burned in the front. It was burned in the back. And the story behind it was that there was a fire. It was the little girl's doll. She died in the fire. The father became like an alcoholic, but he kept and held on to that doll until he passed.
Had like an obsession with it.
Yeah, and now it wound up wherever it wound up. And we did a bunch of stuff with it, and there was stuff attached to it. And whenever I handled that doll, I felt like my lungs filled with smoke, and I would start coughing. And Jane Doherty handled the doll, and without any information, and she was pretty spot on with it. But
yeah, we actually put her in the hot seat. We actually put her in the studio. She'd never seen any of this, had no idea, and John just was handing her one doll after the other, and she hit on the head with that one.
Oh yeah, that one, probably 4 of the 5.
Yeah,
she hit on. But that was kind of our first foray, our first kind of, and I was hooked since then.
You were,
and that's what led me to, to Creeper Gallery in Donna, because I was just doing a random search, and I found out Zach Baggins bought out her entire inventory for his museum, animatronic stuff and all that. And I was like, wow, I got to check this place out and meet this person. And Don and I went back and forth, and then we wound up investigating the building. And here we are all these years later, but, it really is to get a voice and to get interaction and to get things happening real time and be able to document it and show it in video and audio. There's something to be said about that. They're hey, Lois. No, you're not late at all. There are a lot of mediums out there, and some of them are legit. I've met legit mediums. Yeah. I know I have. And I've met some that I don't think are legit, that are just kind of doing whatever. And mediums, yes, they do have the pressure of validation in that they have to, if they're reading you, they have to hit on things that relate to you. Somebody's coming through and blonde hair, and they keep saying this word or that word or this song or whatever, things that you can validate. So they do need some evidentiary proof, some of them. We don't have that luxury of, something has to happen in order for us,
we don't have those gifts
to kind of to have any kind of say in that, whether something's there or not. We were just, again, we were talking to Jay yesterday at the Creeper Gallery, and we're talking about another thing that I'm going to kind of segue into in a minute. Rutherford Hall. Now, Rutherford Hall, I knew a little bit about the history when we were contacted with them, and we kind of got in touch with them, but all I knew was that these people were uber rich. That was their summer home, the Rutherfords, and it's a big, beautiful mansion with a lake behind it. And we knew that maybe one of them maybe lost a child in the home, and somebody else may have passed in the home. So that's what I kind of knew going in. What I didn't know, and again, this because when we knew we were going to be going there and meeting with the historian, 2 docents, and we were going to get the history, we were going to get everything. So I didn't really want to go crazy with research. I wanted them to tell me, in
their words.
Yeah. So we're there in that video that you see us filming, me filming around the outside of it. We're walking around the perimeter, and we stopped, and somebody opens up the door, and they go, are you filming a movie? And I said, no, we have a meeting. And she goes, are you the paranormal people? Like we haven't heard that a billion times. And we're like, yeah. They're like, oh, come in. There was literally 4 or 5 people waiting for us to tell us we saw things here. You got to go up on the 3rd floor. No, I want to show them this place where I saw something. No, let's take them on the 2nd floor when we saw this. And we were like, whoa, we've never been here. We've never taken a tour. We want to hear the history, but we want to start here. This is a beautiful room. Let's work our way up. It's the first floor. We heard things were going on in the basement. So we did. And they were very, very passionate people. They knew everything in and out about the history of the building, what a rich history it was with what FDR was there, and he called Winston Churchill, and they had the
They had a special room just for him so he could make the call for the war. There was a lot of stuff that went on
politicians all
there.
passed through there, and then we found out that the nuns took over the building, and they were there for 50 years. Now, a lot of the nuns went on hospice in that building, and they had an infirmary, and they passed in that building.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of layers of stuff going on in that building. Hey, Susan.
And they even laid out it's kind of, when you walk in somewhere and you have because it's a mansion, there's 38 bedrooms. It's a mansion. It is massive. We didn't even get to see it all, and we were there, 3 hours? And it was we just saw beep, but they took us through the different, and they were explaining how when you walked in and it was the mansion's foyer, the very opening where you went into, then it was so big and so large, they converted it into their church. How crazy is that? Yeah. The foyer of a building became their church because it was so massive. Then you walk in further, and they literally divided it in half and put up a wall, but it was like it's unbelievable. Like it was like a ballroom type thing, but that's where they would lay out that. Yeah, we were in those rooms. And again, people were telling us stories as we went to different areas about what they saw and what others had seen there. And we were just like, wow. So we're going to be investigating that building in March. Maybe one day, one night, and maybe 2 nights because of the size of the building. It's just freaking massive, crazy big. Good night, Amanda. And looking forward to, again, all the stories. So, but that leads me back to the conversation I had with Jay yesterday. Without calling out any other groups or saying anything or any particular names, I see advertisements where other groups are saying, come in, check out this historical location with ABC Paranormal. And a lot of historical locations do have energy still there. That's the truth. That's a fact. I've been to enough of them to know that, most probably do, but that's not a guarantee. But the criteria for us, New Jersey Paranormal, has always been, it's not enough for us just to come in because it's old and it's a relevant part of history of the town. There does need to be claims of activity and things that happen there. Liberty Hall is a prime example. Liberty Hall is gorgeous, gorgeous building. The cottage house, beautiful as well. It's got the look. It's got everything original to the family, the Kane family that lived there for 4 generations. But was that enough to get us to come in there? No. It was only after we started hearing the stories of people seeing things, people hearing conversations in rooms where they walk in the door and people are talking and there's nobody in the building. That's what the thing that we go, okay, that's enough for us to come in and have a look. And then we have a look, and then we investigate, and we see what's there. And that's what we explained to the people at Rutherford Hall, kind of the process of, great. We heard thank you for the history. Yeah. Thank you for the tour. Thank you for everyone coming and sharing their stories about what they had seen and what they had heard. Now we're going to go. And what the difference between what we're going to do and what you did is we're going to seek them out, and we're going to try to talk to them and engage with them and get them to talk to us. See what happens. That's the difference. The only difference, So that's what we're going to do there. And I'm looking forward to that one because that's a building you can get lost in really, really easy. That's a building that you can go from one floor to another floor and the energy completely changes. It feels like you're in a whole different. No, they were all talking about the 3rd floor. They couldn't wait to get us to the 3rd floor. Yeah, I'm not a fan of the 3rd floor. The rest of it is, finished and beautiful and polished and everything. The 3rd floor is kind of like not that. The other floors are all,
And they have artifacts from the family members too. I mean, old pictures, old time pictures of the families together. All that stuff holds energy too. So we finally get up to the third floor where everybody's kind of telling, "Oh, you got to go up. You got to go up." We finally go up the stairs, get up to the third floor, and it's heavier. There's just no doubt
There's a
about it.
change in energy up there.
You just feel it. And as you approach the end of the hall to the 2 rooms that they
it
said they
gets
don't like
worse.
to be in, you feel it. And
You could
can't
definitely
wait to get
pick
in
up.
there.
You could definitely pick up on. It's like nobody has to tell you as soon as you walk up there. It's almost like when you're, like when the altitude is changing when you're on a drive somewhere and you're going higher up in the mountain and you feel the air change or you're hiking up into a higher altitude. It's literally what it felt like when you were going up the stairs of this mansion.
Oh, wow, what a beautiful building. What a beautiful building. And it's just, again, that's why I posted that video, because I wanted you to see the size of it. And until we had, a discussion
And
with
that
them
doesn't do
about
it justice.
what we were going to do and how we were going to do it, I really couldn't say anything until, they said it's okay, because they have to go through layers too of approval, because, they are part of the Board of Education as well. But, they said the same thing. That building it's off the road. You can't see it from the road. You wouldn't even know it's there unless you drove down this long winding road and boom, there's this huge, beautiful mansion. But again, it was designed that way because the people had a lot of money who owned it, and they didn't want to be right near the road or anywhere near the road. They wanted to be secluded.
He had his own power plant built on the property. He was so wealthy.
So
How crazy is that?
There's the link for New Jersey Paranormal. If there's anything you want to talk about, any topics, anything that we didn't cover as far as...
Even talk about experiences you might have had if you've come and joined us on an event. It would be really cool because we don't get too much chances to talk about that too much.
We talk about it all the time, the events.
No, not the events themselves, what people's experiences are.
Okay.
For their own personal experiences.
Yeah, we'll talk about that. So that again,
remember, I'm the one with
where'd you get that giant heart, by the way?
You know what I mean? I'm the one with the big heart.
Yeah. And then the other thing, of course, was the Dalen Spratt interview on Thursday, which I was thoroughly impressed with Dalen, and for a lot of different reasons. I give him all the credit in the world for sharing his story about how Ghost Brothers came to be, and that, in this field, it's sort of, and this is what I've always said about myself when it comes to this field, and no offense to anybody else, I don't have the story of terrorizing spirits in my childhood.
Because you're not special.
Or people coming, where I used to, spirits where I used to live, or blah, 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 blah. I don't have any of that. I don't. My interest in paranormal comes from, again, a fear of death and just the curiosity of, is it possible? The what if. So I give Dalen all the credit in the world because I didn't know what that story was going to be. We didn't. We had no idea. So that's what was doing it when you do those type of discussions, and it's fact finding for us. And it's also for you as well. It's the same when we do live investigation. We have information, of course we do, but it's always seeing where the interview goes. You don't have any set agenda in that we've got to do all of this. No, it's what path is that?
What are we going to learn? Down? What can we learn?
Yeah, and I think again with Dalen, seeing and hearing about his family dynamic, his mom being a pastor, how he was raised, deep-rooted religion beliefs, and that you're not talking to spirits, you're talking to demons trying to trick you. That's what people believe. I mean, they believe that spirits aren't going to talk. Spirits are somewhere else.
And again,
when we're talking to our demons.
God was talking because that light went out. Boom.
I have that clip on TikTok. But being deep rooted in that, being a father for the first time, and what that experience is like. I think very honest, very forthcoming, and I think that again, when you watch these shows,
you got to see him not as an entertainer, but as a human being.
And that's the important thing. When you watch these shows, you see the guy. Dalen
Yeah.
the guy, Jamon the guy, Marcus
Yep.
the guy, the quote unquote ghost hunter. Same with Jason and Steve and all these other guys. And the fact that we covered that stuff first, Chris, looked up that he wrote a book with his mom, which I think was very.
I was completely fascinated by that.
Which I think again was very, probably not a lot of people knew that as well. But then when we got into the paranormal stuff, I was completely taken back by the fact that he was just like, look, we've never done this before. We didn't know anything about ghost hunting or how to
He put
ghost
all his
hunt
cards on the
or
table
whatever.
and
He was
said it like it was.
we were on a TV show. We were working on Monique. We wanted to be on TV or do something, so we shot this thing. And 5 years later, we got a call, and we didn't even have enough people to do the show. We had to bring in Marcus, and Marcus was like, "I cut hair. I don't think so. I want to do this." But I like that a lot because he didn't
sugarcoat it. He just said it this is how it happened.
Yeah, but he could have made up a story.
He could have, but he didn't.
Like I said, he could have read a million different bios and gone, I need to have something in here where I saw something when I was on a, whatever, I was away with my parents or when something. He could have gone down that road.
He could have had a patent answer ready to go.
But he didn't, and that impressed me because he was just like, look, we're not ghost hunters. What you see on TV is us learning to do this and our real life reaction. It's this is happening and we're reacting to it.
I'm gonna be honest. I like the response to the fact is like when he said that, well, why are you reacting this way when you do this you do this all the time? And it starts the open discussion of the fact is why wouldn't you be scared crapless of something you can't see or control?
Especially if you're, again, rooted
in the dark
in his beliefs of, are these demons? Like, I am curious. I would love to do an interview like with him and his mom one day. That would be like the best thing ever.
Oh my God.
If that would ever happen. But I am really curious, like what those conversations were like when
I'd like her take on him doing this.
Well, that's what I just said.
I know that, but that would be interesting with that background and just like what her response was when he goes, hey, this is what we're doing. We're doing a show.
Is there an echo?
No, I'm just like, I'm thinking it out through my head. Like, I could just imagine what that conversation was like.
You know what I can imagine? What I would like to imagine, like, what would that conversation be like if they, oh, you said it.
Must I remind you?
Okay. So, but again, I like that interview a lot. And Dalen was really, really cool to come on and really cool to be so honest about his life and his daughter and his mom and the dynamic there. And I think, sometimes it's better when it's not all about the paranormal stuff and you really do. Like Kalani is totally different. Kalani is more like me, where it's all about the questions of what if and the spirit world and all of that stuff. You know what I mean? This is why we do what we do. We're knee deep up to our necks in this stuff. And so that's why you get that kind of conversation. But like you have a guy like Chip Coffey on, and Chip's going to tell you some stories about getting arrested.
He's got some tales.
We just don't know what's going to come out. And the best part of it is it's not a podcast. It's not something we taped and we edited and we put out in a packaged thing like I did. Interesting and truthful. That's a good point. I did a podcast with somebody, and I won't say who it was, but it was pre-recorded and it was kind of weird from my perspective because there isn't a lot that I do that's pre-recorded anymore, not for a long time, like 10 or 11 stuff. That's not our choice. They're filming a bunch of footage, they're editing it, and they present it in whatever way. But like a podcast, like I would rather be just, if I'm agreeing to talk about anything and we have an agreement of what is off limits, because it's not like we don't have those discussions, because we do, believe me. Before we go live, we'll be on with the person for 5-10 minutes. We actually say to them, anything you don't want to talk about, because we don't want to ambush anybody. We're not into doing stuff like that and asking stuff that just for our sake of going viral, as the kids say.
No, you show respect.
We would never ever want to do that. But we have a bunch of things we want to talk about that we're like, hey,
that we want to know.
We want to know this, that. Jason Hawes was like the first one who was like,
I'm open.
He didn't want to know anything. He's like, John, just ask me anything.
Yeah.
And I said, well, Jason, come on and let's at least talk about anything. I'm like, even what happened with Grant's, anything. And I was like, you asked for it. But he was very truthful.
But you were respectful. As long as you're respectful.
Yeah. But I like that in people. I don't want anything that's kind of
you don't need.
I don't want it to be fake. I don't want it to be kind of like.
This is getting to know people on a different level and not patenting the same answers over and over. Yes, yes, yes. No, no, yes. But I liked when Danlin said, and this is another thing that I liked that he said that brings things out into the open. I get called the chicken a lot. I get called a scaredy cat, Scooby-Doo, whatever you want to call it. But
you know what this is?
Yeah, I don't care about that.
You know what this is?
Yeah, it's your fingers.
It's the world's
and I can't hear it, so it don't matter. But why wouldn't you be afraid to go out in a cemetery by yourself? Of course, when he said, like, I do this during the day, not the night. I'm by myself. I'm not going in the. I can respect that. I like that he's not sitting there going like, phew. Yeah, I'm a ghost hunter. I'm not afraid of anything. Of course I go into the cemetery at night. There's nothing to be afraid of. It's like, no, there's stuff to worry about. I'm not going into the... I like that he said that. Because so many people say I fight demons. I go and kick its butt. I'm going to cleanse. I'm going to go and, all of the other things that people say when they ghost hunt. And I'm just like, there has to be people intimidated by this stuff. Otherwise, they just don't understand what they're doing.
And that you're 100% right, though. An interview should feel more like a conversation than an interview. To me, that's what makes a good interview, which is why I call it an interview / discussion, because it's an interview in a sense, but it's also
should be organic.
We just want to have a conversation. That's all we want. And most times, is that Paul? Hey, Paul. Most times, the best interviews are just conversations. I tell this story a lot, and I'm sure I wonder if he even remembers it. But I'm coming to Power Uni. Cool, Paul. Right. Hope you enjoy it. When I first met Steve Gonzalez from Ghost Hunters, he was doing an event in Jersey, nearby where we live in Westfield, and I told this story before. He had pulled up to a Dunkin' Donuts right when I was pulling up. And I knew it was him. And I followed him in. And I was going there anyway. And I stood right behind him in line. And I'm looking at him. I'm sure he felt my eyes just beating down on him. You scared me. And from the time we were waiting in line, because there were probably 4 or 5 people in front of us, to the time he got his drink, I asked him every question I ever wanted to know about ghost hunters. Because I was like, I don't know if I'm ever going to get this opportunity again. So I was like, where'd you guys meet? He was like, I just came in here for my coffee. I heard those tires peel when he was leaving there, because I'm sure that was his worst nightmare.
We were asked, have we ever been to Hinsdale?
We went to Hinsdale a long time ago.
Yeah.
Long time. And we went in December. And there was no heat in the building at the time. And it was cold. And the building was out. This was before they paved the road and everything. We were there when it was still a dirt road, and a lot of the repairs and stuff. Dan's done an amazing job with that building. Dan's a good friend of ours. I like Dan a lot, and I do recommend Hinsdale, but it's a drive. For us, it's 6 hours, and I don't know if I'm driving 6 hours.
John's not a country boy
anymore. You don't like
being up in the dark where there's no electricity and there's no phones and no.
But Dan's a good guy, and Dan's done an amazing job. That place was a dump when he bought it, and he really restored that thing, and he turned it into like a research center. That's what he calls it,
you'll be at the Liberty Hall.
Yeah, Liberty Hall. Liberty Hall is Saturday. Yeah, that's coming up. That's Saturday night, and joining us will be Beer Fort Paranormal. Robert, Sandra will be back with us again, and I had Robert on here a time or two, I think, and Robert and I are very like-minded. We're about the same age, and Robert has way more equipment than I'll ever have, but we're kind of the same mindset as far as our methods and theories about communicating with spirits and how, you know, that stuff works. So you guys are in for a treat with Robert's stuff. I went to Hinsdale House last year. Thankfully, I have family. Yeah, Hinsdale's far. I know, Deb, you rode your motorcycle up there, right? I am meeting Dan Class in the UK in September. He is a friend of mine. Yeah, Dan's a good guy.
You're going to like him a lot.
Dan's a good guy.
He's a really good guy.
I like Dan the minute that I that I met Dan. I'm going to Hinsdale this summer, I hope. Again, Hinsdale's different for everyone. I've heard a lot of people had experiences in the house and on the grounds.
We had an experience, but not with a house. We had an experience with somebody that showed up.
It was December, so we couldn't go out on the ground. So we were in the house, and we didn't have a lot happen, but, you know, not every place is, you know, Amityville Horror every time you're in it either, you know?
It was just dead winter. Brian, if you could, I have my little Valentine's basket, and if you could tell Anne, thank you so much. That was so sweet that she did this. I just wanted to thank her publicly for doing that. It was really sweet. Yeah, and I won't share.
She says she's trying shilling for more gifts, by the way, people. So if you didn't notice, this is her way of saying, if you give me stuff, I'm going to show everyone.
That's not me.
And announce it. See, I don't do that because I thank the people in person, which is much more personal, I think, than you know, asking for more things on the live stream.
This man gets up in the morning.
You guys should interview Robert again. We will bring a refill set. See, you're going to get more stuff. See, that's what she does. Very subtle about it too. I want you all to notice that what just happened there. So
isn't he? And again, let me remind you people, I'm the one with the heart, the big heart. He's got the Grinchy heart. That's about this big.
So again, we got about 15 minutes left. We're doing okay, Colette. We are auction. I have no idea when Donna's doing it.
I think she said she was going to start them up again until March.
Yeah, I think she said something about March. I have no idea, to be honest with you. We haven't really even talked about that. But speaking of Creeper Gallery, there is a day we're planning on going back there this week. I was told I couldn't do it tomorrow because it's Valentine's Day. So the possibility of Wednesday or Thursday is
probably Wednesday.
Could happen.
Wednesday probably.
That's all.
Wednesday.
It's all up to the boss here.
Wednesday.
I really.
Hey, he can take one day. You want to go talk with the spirits on Valentine's Day?
Sure, why not?
So you don't
How
have
do you
to
know it's
talk
not
to me.
more active?
He doesn't want to talk to me.
How do you know it's not more active on Valentine's Day? Everybody needs someone to talk to. A heartless, cruel person.
I'm a heartless and cruel. Okay.
You know, wouldn't you be shocked if you did get more interaction on Valentine's Day?
On Valentine's Day? You might.
Right, I might.
All those.
I'm glad it's not tomorrow the way I will see it live. Yeah, I like doing it Tuesday nights because Wednesday we usually go out and do something. But that's just, that's me. But it is Valentine's. So, say Lonely Hearts Club. Thank you.
None of those spirits are lonely.
Thank you.
Well, you think they're all alone?
See
that energy.
I mean? She's asking for candy. She's only.
I didn't ask.
Only thinks of herself on Valentine's Day.
I never once said ask for anything. I said thank you because Anne made me this cute little Valentine's basket with a lot of kisses, and I thought it was the sweetest thing ever because she didn't have to do it.
Never enough. Never enough.
You guys are very lucky that he comes on here each week.
John can talk to the beauty. Yeah, thank you.
Yes.
We can't call it VD though. We have to.
No, it does have to be VD Day. No, if you're going to go talk to the Queen,
I was willing to be with all of you on Valentine's, along with my sweetheart here. But
no, don't try to be nice. Don't try to even be nice to me. Don't even try that.
I've been out of lately. Work on. You remind me how to purchase tickets to the expo.
Danielle.
Tickets to the expo are only available. Online. New Jersey Paraunity Expo.com. You have to spell out New Jersey Paraunity Expo.com. So Don't be
Don't be jealous, but my husband is in a bowling league. If I want to be with him, I get to spend my Valentine's Day in a bowling alley. Sorry, Deb.
Thank you.
I actually let me show you what I got this man.
I sacrifice.
Yeah, you sacrifice.
She said, I don't want to go to the creeper on Valentine's Day. I don't, and I said, fine, we won't do it. We won't do it. That's
I
it.
said Wednesday.
I didn't say I was going bowling or I was going to do it myself. And oh look, now she's got a show again.
This is what I got him for Valentine's Day because this is the truth. This is him 24/7.
You're not centered.
And where do I have to go? This way?
That way. Towards you. The other way. Towards me. Keep going. Right there.
This is John 24/7. Non-stop. Non-stop.
Now, what I want to show you there is that the big heart candy box that she's been holding up the whole entire time, never once said it's from him.
Yes, I did.
Nor did I.
Yes, I did.
Yet
in the
she
beginning,
comes and brings
yes,
this shirt out and says, look what I got him. See what I mean? It's all so subtle, isn't it? All so subtle. So here's the thing.
Don't touch my kisses.
If you'd like to get Chris gifts,
no,
please don't feel like you have to. But
don't listen to this man. This Italian, you know, the Italians, they like to like manipulate and make people feel guilty and just like play with your emotions. This is this guy right here.
So I want to show you something.
Oh, this is cute. What he's going to go
You
get.
have no idea what I'm going to get.
Yes, I do. And if I were to say it, you would be like, "Oh, you just spoiled it by telling everybody." So I'm not going to say.
Really
but just remember, guys.
It's called the event schedule.
Oh,
Everybody,
Lord.
really cute. Here it is. Really cute. So, working on the event schedule for 2023. We're up to May 13th, which is the Sterling Hill Mine with Dustin, Cody, Satori. I think the VIP Ghost Hunt is pretty much almost done. There are still tickets available for the daytime where you can come up and just hang out with them for a couple of hours, take pictures with them, see the lectures. They're going to be doing a lecture. Dustin's going to do one. Cody Satori's going to do one. And then you get to tour the mine, you know, a lantern lit. But this is the rest of 2023 from top to bottom. I mean, you can't really see it because I don't want you to see everything, but I mean,
that's a lot.
That's everything, top to bottom. Those are weekend dates pretty much. And it really kicks in come, March 4th. Once we start rolling with the mine on March 4th, it really is every other weekend till December 16th.
And that's not even showing what we were just asked to do.
Believe it or not. So it's gonna be a lot of events. So we're gonna get back into it. We're gonna do it, and we're gonna like I said, it'll
true,
be
Luann.
What?
It's better than having nothing to do. That's very true.
But it's gonna be again the two of us and Tanya and Kenny, and we'll also have people joining us, you know, as well. Robert and Sandra this weekend coming. We'll have others as well. Danielle is on here. Sam, who again, we've known Sam since she was conceived, I believe. So, you know, they'll be joining us time to time, helping out, and Colleen will be helping us time to time and helping out. So, it's gonna be a lot. It's gonna be, but again, I'm looking forward to it. Once you get into that mode and you start doing events again, you kind of just, you know, start doing it. But it doesn't stop us from doing the live streams. And Sally, how are you?
Hot date?
Really?
What would be the hot date?
Thank you. See what I mean? See? Sally, that's what I get.
He wanted to go to the Cooper Gallery for Valentine's Day. That was supposed to be a hot date. I didn't go to a bowling alley. You don't bowl, and neither do I.
No. Saturday's an in-person public.
It's a public.
That's going to start. So, I mean, live stream investigations are going to be kind of probably strictly Creeper Gallery with maybe Rutherford Hall somewhere in the mix there. But we're not going to have any Saturdays. And the ones that we do have open, we're probably going to just relax and not do a ghost hunt of any kind on those Saturdays and take them to enjoy, the
And
weather.
we can have a hot date.
Man, I'll take you to bowling alley. That's where I'm going to take you. But no, we don't stream. We don't stream the live stuff, the in-person ghost hunts, because again, those are for the people who attend. And like I said, we've been doing this a long time. The in-person ghost hunts, people seem to like them. We've been doing it a while, and we always try to throw something new into the mix if we can. And I think we're going to be bringing some weird stuff out this year again. So it'll be worth coming to. And every building's different. And even if you've been to a building before, you don't know if the same thing's going to happen before or something different.
No, we find that out all
John's
the time.
going to surprise you, Chris. You're right. I am going to surprise you. I'm going to be at the Creeper doing a live, and she's going to be sitting here watching. That's going to be the big surprise with her free candy that she gets from people that she's going to be eating watching me.
That's right. I'll be here with my kisses.
Okay.
All by myself.
Shameless.
My
Shameless.
kisses.
Let me show you what I got, because somebody did that, so now I have to
What'd you
show
get?
you what I got.
What'd you get?
What I got. Silence as I'm walking. See the filler? See the other?
I moved it. Wait, he'll find out I moved it.
Come on, Garth.
He found it.
That's so funny. So this was a generous gift from Brian and family. This actually says New Jersey Paranormal on it. See that? It really belongs to the group. It's not my selfish chocolate gift. This says New Jersey Paranormal. And
excuse me. You know what he said to me when he brought it home?
Your soda can in
he
there.
said, "Don't touch it. It's mine."
You can put your soda can in there. So when I have my Coke
so that's
Zero,
not a group thing. If you said I can't touch it, is it? No,
I will be wearing my
tiara.
That's nice. Maybe you'll get some attention if you do that. You come strutting around with your tiara.
That's funny, Deb.
But very nice, very generous gift from Brian and family. And again, we met them doing the ghost walks at the Sterling Mine, and that's, believe it or not, on top of all those events that you see there that I have listed, I was contacted by a string of libraries, 5 of them, that want us to do lectures in October. 5. And I am one to not say, I don't say no. That's my biggest
he sure does
problem. So October is going to be crazy busy between the library lectures, probably the lantern tours at the mine, and whatever else we got going on. Forget about it.
But you know what?
No, I don't. Please tell me.
Every day is Valentine's with you. I don't need a holiday. How's that? Huh? Crickets. Crickets.
Clown Motel. Yeah.
No, we ain't going there.
I like to do that. I really would. She topped you. Please. She read that on the back of one of those kisses that she got there. That's where she got that from.
Dove chocolate is the one.
Are you guys going to Clark? Yeah, we go to Clark every year. We enjoy going to Clark Library doing lectures, which is, again, here's the difference between New Jersey Paranormal and other groups. Everything we do is a fundraiser. Well, do the math here. If I showed you this list of events, all the money that's going to be raised for all these different sites as we go through the year, 100% of the proceeds go into them. And the libraries offer you a fee to do a lecture. The very first question they ask you is, what's the title? What will you be talking about? And what do you charge? And we say,
put it back into the books and stuff for the kids that come to the library.
You're going to spend money on us when you can buy more stuff for kids, and it's a community place, and we shouldn't be taking money from.
No.
So anyway,
and it should be for the kids and the people that need the library and the resources. It's important.
So anyway, like I said, in between, we will still be doing these discussions. We'll still be doing interviews as I could find them and book them. I want to get a few more people on that, again, that are kind of different. I go back and I look at some of those interviews, like Bree, who was kind of a practicing new medium that we had on, animal communicators, all that stuff. That I like talking to people like that. Yeah. I like picking people's brains and finding out about them, and even the spirit art. Judy had a great story too. So there'll be more of that stuff. It's just that John has to do it all.
He does.
He has to do it all. That entire list, schedule, the booking the guests, to interview.
That's what happens when you're a control freak.
I mean,
hey,
everything.
I'm just your sweetheart.
So when you're giving candy to someone, just think about really who's doing.
Who's doing the do?
Before you and maybe separate that candy in half and give it to me, because
he needs all the sweetener he can get.
Zach is doing what? I'm shocked the local colleges don't reach out to do a lecture. John Safish. Yeah, John does a lot of college lectures, a lot of them. I am so looking forward to April 1st with John Zaffis. That event sold out. I can't wait for that one. I'm like a kidney candy store with that one, because I'm going to annoy him so bad, I'm sure, that night, that he'll never, ever do this with us again. And I'll remind him that, like...
You'll go around. I'm just saying, John. Just saying.
He will be so tired of me by the end of that night that he'll never...
He'll be scratching and shaking his head, going like, John.
Anyway, that's it for tonight, guys. When you see us again, it will be at the Creeper Gallery Live, probably Wednesday night, 7:30. We heard 7 o'clock was too early, so we'll push it back to 7:30 so that everyone has time to get home and do what they got to do, and then watch us. So 7:30, probably Wednesday, from the Creeper Gallery. All right. Thank you. Always fun. I'm already reading that. All right, guys. Have a good night. Happy Valentine's Day, everyone. Whether you're going to be doing whatever you're doing, enjoy Valentine's Day. And even if you want to stay home and pig. Speaking of pigging out, the best dessert you could ever have in your life, I got from an Italian restaurant. This is what I'm going to close with here. It was a chocolate chip cookie, fresh out of the oven, a big one. And they put ice cream on top with fudge, hot fudge. Oh my God. You're welcome. Have that tomorrow, even if you're not doing anything or going anywhere.
He got me to make it for him today. Yes. Was it good? It was all right.
When she said make it, it was the Pillsbury.
Yeah.
Where you just lay it out and put ice cream.
You could have done it yourself then, couldn't you?
I really could.
But you didn't. You asked me to do it.
Have a good night.
Anyways,
happy Valentine's Day.
Happy Valentine's Day. Be safe, please, and stay well and be kind, especially tomorrow, because there are going to be people that don't have someone or alone, and just smile, say hi. It doesn't cost much. Good night, everybody.
And please send more chocolate. I'll send our address.
I'll share my kisses with all of y'all.
Please
okay,
send more
I will
chocolate.
share.
You'll get an online personal cameo. Thank you.